Busy schedule? Timing issues? Don't know what to cook tonight? Holla at Chef Red. Services include meal prep, catering, personal chef duties, full course meals, as well as alternative vegan options. Desserts are stellar. I recommend the banana pudding. Delivery is available for qualifying orders. Contact her on Instagram at Chef Redfern. Tell her Jay Daniel sent you.
Hey guys, this is Charlie Box, and you're listening to Jay Daniel on Moonbeam Radio.
Moonbeam launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Moonbeam Radio. I'm your host, Jay Daniel. This is episode S314, Truth Be Told. Thank you for your time and attention. Your ear gates, eye gates, and heart gate, you are appreciated. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome. And if you're a longtime supporter, welcome back. Now, this week we'll discuss Cicely Tyson, timeless, tasteless tweet. Tubman 20, one dose. Gone too far east. Dunn and friend. Vitamin D. And 800 inmates. This portion of our broadcast is brought to you in part by junemoonmediagroup. Custom DJ services includes personalized mixes and virtual hostings for all occasions. Pricing deals going on now. For all inquiries, email us at junemoonmediagroup@gmail.com. Be sure to check out Get Money Kick's own GMK_Young Bolo on Instagram. I have had an interesting yet emotional day today. Had a talk with someone earlier, and you have to be careful with whom you share your successes, triumphs with. Not everyone is happy for you. Some people can only see how your success, even your failures, affect them. What it means to them. What's their bottom line? They may look like you. They may be even related to you. It doesn't matter that you've been friends since high school. You're cool at work, but not everyone that offers a smile is with you. They may be with the trinkets, the byproducts of your hard work. They may be with that. Guard your energy and your talent at all costs. Not everyone is happy for you. Now, this week, we have lost the icon, the legend, Cicely Tyson. This one was a rough one. December 19th, 1924 to January 28th, 2021. So she was 96 years old. No cause of death given. Let's put some respect on Cicely Tyson's name. She was an American actress, chocolate, black woman, and a fashion model. She had a career that spanned more than 7 decades, and she became known for her portrayal of strong African-American women in film. Some of her films include Sounder. This is in 1972. Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor. That was 1981. Roots, the series Roots, 1977. And one of my all-time favorites, Hoodlum with Lawrence Fishburne. That was 1997. Now, to bring it a little more close, Idlewild with Outkast. You may not have known that. That was in 2006. The River Niger, 1977, and that was with Lou Gossett Jr. and James Earl Jones. Now, she was also married to the jazz great Miles Davis. Did you know that? Cicely Tyson has won an Emmy and a Tony Award. She's recently been on a book tour, and she released a memoir titled Just As I Am. Ms. Tyson, you are loved and missed. Thank you for your work and your love for people, black people in particular. Tasteless tweet. Piers Morgan put up 2 disrespectful tweets about Larry King. I don't know if you've seen them, but let's take a look. This was January 23rd on his Twitter. Larry King was a hero of mine until we fell out over after I replaced him at CNN. And he said my show was, quote, like watching your mother-in-law go over a cliff in your new Bentley. He married 8 times, so a mother-in-law expert. But he was a brilliant broadcaster and a masterful TV interviewer. Now, let's go to Exhibit 2. Me too. Larry hated me replacing him at CNN and never made any secret of it, which I found very sad because he was one of my heroes. But I still think he was a superb broadcaster and one of the all-time TV greats. Piers Morgan. Why did you wait until Larry King is dead to say all of this, sir? I'll tell you why. Coward. I think that you were jealous of the icon. You didn't want to be like him. You thought that you were him or better. Dare I say greater? That's what your thoughts were? Piers Morgan, here's some truth. Truth be told. Your show was trash, sir. Lasted 3 low-rating seasons, January of 2011 to March of 2014. This man, ladies and gentlemen, has a superiority complex. That's why his CNN show was canceled. Piers Morgan, your opinion is your opinion. But have the decency to air it out when the person has the option to respond. Do you agree with that? Your show was trash, and CNN let you know about it. Piers Morgan, hold that L. You'll never be Larry King. There's only one. He's gone now. Let me do it this way. Happy birthday to Harriet Tubman. Now, her birthday was yesterday, the 29th, 1820. Tubman 20, right? She was born in Dorchester County, Maryland. Now, Joe Biden plans to redesign the $20 bill, with Harriet Tubman replacing Andrew Jackson. Here's a question already. Who asked for this? Who asked for it? I don't know about you, but I don't see this as a good thing. Now, this idea was an Obama initiative that lapsed during Trump's time. Are you using black people for some, get back at Trump and the Republicans? Now, initially, notes with this new imagery could not be put into circulation until 2028. And that a future Treasury secretary would have to make the call whether to replace Jackson or not. Now, the Treasury Department, who is now led by Biden-appointed Janet Yellen, plans to accelerate that timeline. She says that the Treasury Department is taking steps to resume efforts to put Harriet Tubman on the front of the new $20 notes. It's important that our money reflects the history and diversity of our country. We need to stop it. You see, that sounds hot. It sounds good. It sounds very we are the world, very kumbaya-ish. But the reality is that's not the America that we live in. The real America, the real reality. See, we saw what you just did for immigrants, right? All kinds of money, fast tracking them for citizenship. And this is what's on the table for black people? Tubman on the 20. Why you pick her? Respectfully. Maybe the bigger question is, why are you replacing Jackson? You see, presidents and scholars are on the bills now, right? Now, she's a hero, yes. An inspiration, courageous, fearless, yes. But this would be a reminder that I was and am a slave. Now, I appreciate what she has done for black people, for slaves, for the descendants of slaves, for this country. No taking it away from her. This ain't about her. But you see, America loves to co-opt movements. In the depiction of black people in this world, in this country. Right, let me give you an example. Cleopatra, right? Since African Americans, Africa is the start of civilization, right? Your science has seconded that, has nodded to that, has agreed upon that fact. Okay. Then why you have Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra, right? Even this most recent Harriet Tubman movie that they did, which was trash, gotta say it. It wasn't a clear depiction. It wasn't truthful at all. Truth be told. They had Harriet Tubman didn't have a British accent, but in the movie she did. What's up with that, America? You see, again, why did you choose her to replace Jackson? Why not? Benjamin Banneker. Here's one. George Washington Carver. And since we'll be equal opportunity over here, no gender bias here, Madam C.J. Walker. Why not? These are the other, famous heroic blacks that you put out there only during February, right? Why not one of them? And I'm just talking, folks. I'm passionate about this. I just want the playing field to be fair. See, it's too many lies and deceptive things being thrown out there, and nobody calls it out. I'll do it. I'll call it out. A lot of movements have been co-opted. The Black Panther Party was co-opted, infiltrated. Nation of Islam, infiltrated by the government. And the leaders were taken out. And most recently, let's talk about it, huh? Black Lives Matter. Been co-opted. It's been compromised. I'm all for the idea and the movement of Black Lives Mattering on the planet, especially in America. But that organization, I do not stand with. If you saw what I saw on Instagram from Black Lives Matter official blue-checked certified account on Martin Luther King's birthday, posting a video of some chocolate girl down in Washington doing it down and dirty in Washington, D.C., on the steps of the Capitol, on the steps of the of Lincoln's monument, right? In some American flag booty shorts twerking. And Black Lives Matter official blue-checked Instagram account put this up. Co-opt. Smells infiltrated to me. So what is this Tubman on the 20 really about? What is it really about? We'll see how long it takes, because this one gonna need bipartisanship, right? You can't executive order this one. And we'll see. We'll see if it happens. But this putting her on the 20 is a good look, I guess, for you. But it doesn't help black people at all with anything of substance. Was it a symbol, a symbolic victory? How does putting her on the 20 help build generational wealth for my family? How is that going to help from more Eric Gardners, from more George Floyds? How, from that happening, how is that going to help? It's not. Smoke and mirrors. Fluff. The fluff gang. That's what this is. I don't know, but let me chill, right? I've been going hard on Biden. Maybe I'm going too hard, but listen, he needs to deliver more than just some damn hope. Speaking of hope, source here is CNN.com, BusinessInsider.com. One dose. So if you don't know, a third COVID-19 vaccine, this one made by Johnson&Johnson, could be authorized for use in the United States very, very soon. This is a single shot dose, which makes it different than the others. And as we speak, Johnson&Johnson is coordinating to apply to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, for emergency use authorization. Now, the vaccine was made through a collaboration of Johnson & Johnson's Belgium-based vaccine division, so it's overseas, y'all, and it works a bit differently than the others. Now, this vaccine is 85% effective overall at preventing hospitalization and death in all regions where it was tested. Its efficacy against moderate and severe disease range from one country to another, which is 72% in the United States, 66% in Latin America, and 57% in South Africa. Now, this was measured starting 1 month after the shot. Here's how it works, because that's the question. How does it work, and is it effective? We've gone through the efficacy rate. It's not as high as Moderna, but it is, when you look at what your options are, a mask or this, right? Zero 85 is better than 0, right? Or what now they're talking about with these masks, 45% or something like that. Now it's 45 with wearing a mask. But for a long time, that's all we had. But here's how it works. This Johnson & Johnson vaccine is what is known as a non-replicating viral vector vaccine using a common cold virus called, all right, get your paper and pen, adenovirus 26. That is ADENOVIRUS 26. Adenovirus 26. I'm going to give it to you. Everybody else not going to give it to you. Scientists take a small amount of genetic material that codes for a piece of the novel coronavirus that we have and integrate it with a weakened version of adenovirus 26. Now, scientists alter this adenovirus so it can enter cells, but here's the caveat: it cannot replicate and make people sick. This is all according to the scientists. This is what they're saying. I should note that AstraZeneca uses a similar platform, but its adenovirus comes from a chimpanzee. Now, Cicely Corbett, you remember her, right? She's one of the scientists that Anthony Fauci was bloviating about, who helped develop Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. Now, she applauds Johnson & Johnson's new trial results, even though they are in competition and their results are not as stellar as Moderna. She goes on Twitter and says this: "Don't let the perfect get in the way of the good enough." Now, how do you feel about that? Dare I say shots fired? Was that a backhanded compliment? Cicely Corbett? Are you good with that? Not being perfect, but good is good enough, right? But good enough? Is that what you want to hear when it deals with your health with a vaccine? It's good enough? I mean, we don't even accept it's good enough from AT&T cell phone commercial, right? You know. But I believe that she's sending shots because she's Team Moderna, and this is Johnson & Johnson. But the advantage that Johnson & Johnson has overall is that it's one dose, which is key and clutch for the shortages going on right now with this vaccine rollout debacle. You can get an appointment, but the vaccine, they don't know when they're going to get more. Maybe they have some, maybe they don't, maybe they're reserved. It's just a quagmire, just an all-out debacle, messed up, and the people are in the middle of it. But we'll have to see. First, if they get emergency use authorization here, which I anticipate they will, sometime this week. So this could potentially roll out, in my Optimus Prime voice, roll out in roughly 2 weeks. So we'll keep an eye on it, but that is the advantage here, is that it will take only one dose. Source here is Bloomberg.com. Gone too far east. Now, China's zero tolerance pandemic strategy, right? It includes border curbs, mass testing, hard lockdowns. They are not playing over there. They go way past putting tape on your door, right? They glue you in. Armed guards, all kind of just madness over there. Lockdown. It's a serious, they're not playing. So with all of that being said, all of that being included, China has now added, here it is, anal swabbing for COVID. Yeah, you heard me. Anal swabbing. Is it that serious out here in these streets? You got to give A swabs? Some residents in China's northern regions, where more than 1,700 cases have emerged, have been subjected to the A swabs, that's what we'll call them, without warning. Now, this method, as the name suggests, involves inserting a saline-soaked cotton swab about 2 to 3 centimeters or an inch into the anus, with the sample then tested for active traces of the virus. Now, according to local officials, right, get this, more than 1,000 school children and teachers in Beijing were given anal, throat, and nose swabs last week. In addition to a separate antibody test after one asymptomatic virus case was detected on campus. Oh, but the rabbit hole goes deeper in China. Passengers on a flight from Changchun to Beijing were told to exit the plane after officials discovered that someone from a high-risk area for virus transmission was on board. Now, this is according to what the officials were saying on board to the passengers. So they exit the plane, and then they were taxied, transported, brought to a hotel where health workers took nose and A swabs. Can you imagine that? Telling you someone may have this virus, get off the plane, then we gonna transmit you, taxi you over somewhere to Giant Stadium or something, right? Right? A hotel, a seedy hotel. All right, everybody get in line and we gonna swab. 3, 2, 1, swab. What? I'd rather not fly. Just forget it. I found a new way to where I'm going. I found a new way to get to Beijing. Don't they have bullet trains? Now, this use of this extremely invasive technique is based on research that traces of the virus found in the A, right? Not Atlanta, but the A, can last longer than in the respiratory tract. Now, this is according to Li Tongxing, who is the director of Beijing's Respiratory and Infectious Disease Center, said last week. A swabs could be more accurate than throat and nose tests, especially in detecting asymptomatic cases. This is according to him. Now, he added that they were only being used on at-risk groups, including at quarantine sites. Now, I must note this part. There's no evidence that virus transmission is any more common among patients who have a positive test in the A area, or A swabbing has not been conducted in other places that have successfully achieved near elimination of the pathogen, like in New Zealand, which has 0 new cases. Now, there's no evidence to support using this method. This is what we're getting at here. They just are so strong and stringent on clamping down on this COVID-19 virus, the gooch, which originated from over there. This original virus, right? Original rude boy came from there. Whether it was from a bat, a cat, or some lab, neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. This virus is out here in these streets, taking people out, getting people sick, scaring the hell out of folks. So it has no evidence of getting anything close to what's going on in New Zealand, right? Because they've had 0 new cases, right? Although a hotel employee and a hotel guest got romantically involved and caused a whole quagmire situation out there, causing even more lockdowns, extended times. Had you heard about that? So that's a whole mess over there. But their numbers are very low because they have strict lockdown procedures and protocols that they follow. You don't have people at the Walmart out there or whatever it's called arguing with security and school and store staff about wearing a damn mask. They don't have that over there. That's an American thing. That's a Western world thing. Wasting time and resources because you don't want to comply with wearing a mask or whatever the measure is. I don't understand that. Stay home. Use a delivery service. You don't have to cause a scene just because you want to not comply and I want to go in here and do what I want to do. No. But that's how they're giving it up in New Zealand. But what do you think about this China? What's going on, man? A-swaps? Wow. Yikes. Source here, NewYorkTimes.com, Dunn and friend. So 2 CBS executives are on leave after a report detailed that they created a hostile work environment, including making racist and sexist remarks about female and black employees. Now, these 2 executives, Peter Dunn, that's D-U-N-N, the president of CBS television stations, and David Friend, the senior VP of news for TV stations. Now, both of these guys, these suits were placed on administrative leave pending the results of a third-party investigation. Now, this is the company said in a statement. Here's more of the statement that they said they released. Now, these guys are still getting paid. They're just on leave. It's just like the police. You got them on light duty, right? CBS is committed to a diverse, inclusive, and respectful workplace where all voices are heard, claims are investigated, and appropriate action is taken where necessary. Now, this is all according to this statement. Sounds good. It sounds very PC, but it's very empty, fluffy, like marshmallows, right? The Los Angeles Times published the report where employees accused the executives of bullying female managers and blocking efforts to hire and retain black journalists. Mr. Dunn has been called out as frequently called a black news anchor at the CBS station in Philadelphia. Here it is. Just a jive guy. You know, like the 70s jive turkey. Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what he repeatedly called this gentleman who doesn't want to be identified. And that at least 4 current and former female CBS executives said that they had been bullied by Mr. Dunn between 2017 and 2019. These are female executives now. Several black journalists had either left their positions at the Philadelphia station or were blocked by Mr. Dunn and Mr. Friend. What a friend you have in Dunn, right? From being hired. They were blocked. Who was it that said, was it Wells Fargo a while back? Said that the talent pool is low because you have black people in them, right? That was him. That was Wells Fargo. These over here are blocking them. I'm sure that is the sentiment, the idea, and the thinking. America. Now, Mr. Friend, who wants him as that, right? Mr. Friend, said that he and CBS stations had strong track record of hiring and supporting women and journalists of color. Let me hold on. Journalists of color? Miss me with that. Who are you talking about, sir? See, we mix. They like to mix that in society, in the media, mainstream, people of color. Well, who are you talking about? That's anybody that's non-white? But that ain't necessarily talking about black people. But you're not calling someone a person of color a jive guy. You're talking to a black man. See, it's convenient. This is a way to make nice about it, make it less than what it is. People of color. Miss me with that. These comments I may have made about our employees or prospective hires were only based on performance or qualifications, not about anyone's race or gender. So, the things that you may have said, you mean the things that you said weren't about race or gender, but you're only doing this to black men and black women, right? Mr. Friend and Dunn, you both are just that, done. You've been called out. You're finished at CBS because CBS is distancing themselves from you now. So what do you do now? You're on light duty, but that's only for so long. That's a nice way to give you a severance package, and then now it's going to be a nice package. But you won't be able to fly the flag of CBS any longer. But this goes on. Corporate America, all over this country. The veil is being lifted. People ain't having it no more. But still, see, he ain't offending LGBTQ or someone in the Jewish community. This would have been way bigger. There wouldn't have been a light duty had it been one of those groups. But nonetheless, you gentlemen are slow walked out. Got to start somewhere, right? Vitamin D. Source here is myclevelandclinic.org. So understanding this, right? Vitamin D is actually a hormone. Did you know that? You have to understand this, and the role it plays in the body will help you make informed health decisions. This one vitamin, this one hormone. Vitamin D is a hormone that kidneys produce that control blood calcium concentration and impacts the immune system. Bioactive vitamin D is a steroid hormone that has long been known for its important role in regulating body levels of calcium, phosphorus, and the mineralization of bone, right? So it is good for your bones. The flip side, symptoms of vitamin D deficiency can include muscle weakness, pain, fatigue, and depression. Check on your friends. They may not be depressed, right? They may have a vitamin D deficiency right now. Especially with this lockdown situation going on. these restrictions? Vitamin D could be. Studies have shown a relationship between the frequency of menstrual disorders and low levels of vitamin D. Now, supplements is necessary in women with low levels of vitamin D in order to compensate for this deficiency and to assess its effect in regulating menstrual disorders. Duly noted here, vitamin D comes in two forms: D2 and D3. The difference? D2 comes from plants, D3 comes from animals. Now you need a prescription to get D2. D3 is available over the counter, and it is more easily absorbed than D2 and lasts longer in the body, dose for dose. Work with your doctor to find out if you need to take a vitamin supplement, right? Because I'm not a doctor over here. Just passing along some information. You can get too much vitamin D if you overdo it with the supplements. I have to stress that. You cannot get too much vitamin D from the sun. And speaking of the sun, right? California. Source here is CBSnews.com. 800 inmates is the story. So California students have been part of a book club at a state prison. Mia Marisol and Jim Micheletti founded the book club called Exercises in Empathy. Students would go into the prison afraid, but would leave with a new perspective on the incarcerated men. Strong J, kudos to this group here, but we ain't done yet. They go in thinking monsters. There are no throwaway people here. This is what Micheletti said. Now, former inmate Jason Bryant, who participated in the book club, right? This is what he says. It was incredibly refreshing to have young men come into a space with us and see us as what we are, which is people. Why are we talking about Bryant? Well, this is why. Bryant was sentenced to 26 years to life for a 1999 robbery that resulted in a shooting death. Now, while behind bars, Bryant was looking for ways to be of service. It was this book club that he heard about. Ernest Gordon's name of the book was Miracle on the River Kwai. So Bryant planned to raise money from other prisoners to create a scholarship fund for a Palmer student in need. Palmer is a school in California. This is where these students were coming from. So just a little background here. The base pay for incarcerated people in California is 8 cents an hour. You heard me right, 8 cents. Those with an industry job make $1 an hour, which, you know, if we do the math, can get you to $100 a month with an industry job. Now, over 3 years, 800 inmates together raised $32,000 for the scholarship. The inmates made the money working jobs like sweeping, clerking, office work, and making furniture. Cy Green was chosen to receive the scholarship. Now, Green's father had a heart transplant and his mother had an accident, lost to vision, and both parents lost their jobs. That's why Green was chosen. That was a financial burden with all the medical bills and stuff. This is what Cy Green said. They put all this effort and all this work into me, so I have to honor that and carry that legacy on. Now, Bryant was granted clemency. Got to give it up to Governor Newsom out there. He was granted clemency after 20 years being behind bars. Bryant is now the director of restorative programs at CROP, which is a nonprofit for career development and stable housing. I want to say salute to the book club, those 800 inmates, Bryant, Micheletti, Marisol, Mia Marisol. Listen, that's what we need to hear more of in our current climate and our society, because the tomfoolery that is projected, which is shown over and over on CNN, on the TV, on the tube, right? This needs to be as loud as that. I'm Jay Daniel. This has been Moonbeam Radio. I'll see you next week. Take care. Be sure to check out GMK_Young Bolo on Instagram for footwear and gear, street apparel. Go check out the homie GMK_Young Bolo on Instagram. FNXFit.com. All natural sleep aids, pre and post workout shakes. Try the recovery powder available in raspberry lemonade, grape limeade, snow cone, and watermelon burst. Be sure to use Moonbeam as the promo code, Moonbeam. Again, that's FNXFit.com. Busy schedule? Timing issues? Don't know what to cook tonight? Holla at Chef Red. Services include meal prep, catering, personal chef duties, full course meals, as well as alternative vegan options. Desserts are stellar. I recommend the banana pudding. Delivery is available for qualifying orders. Contact her on Instagram at Chef Redfern. Tell her Jay Daniel sent you.